Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Matty boy, we have some brand new wedges to test.
It's exciting.
This is a rare thing.
We haven't had new wedges from Cobra ever. We've never tested Cobra wedges.
We've never tested a Cobra wedge, you're absolutely right.
This is new.
This is a first, a TXG first.
And it was a very requested item. If you ever wonder if we read the comments, we do, and it was in there a bunch.
Yeah, the MiM wedges by Cobra. Coming at a slightly cheaper price point, you think that's the main attraction?
I think people now associate Cobra with being, top tier performance.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can argue who's the very best, whatever. It's going to vary person to person, but they are a top tier company.
Mm-hmm.
If you go look at wedges, you're going to notice these, I believe, are going to be $40 less, even in the US market, than something like a Vokey or what else is kind of up there? Jaws wedges would probably be up there.
Yeah, Jaws, you get your MG2s, things like that.
So, yeah, I think the initial attraction can't be kind of understated, that price is a big factor.
Yeah. So, metal injection molded. The story is on the feel of these clubs. They're claiming to be the softest feeling wedges in the market.
It's pretty ambitious.
It's a pretty bold claim.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I would say so, yeah.
So obviously people talk about feel round the greens and touch, and people talk about when they get fit for golf balls, they like a golf ball that feels soft around the greens. You can see why they've done what they've done. They've went to this process in order to try and soften the feel of the metal.
Yeah. I think a soft feeling wedge people associate with good technique.
Yeah.
So if you feel like the ball comes off the face nice and soft, the results, a clicky wedge or a hard feel, people associate with a miss-hit shot.
Yeah.
So I can see why the softness is a priority for them. It does kind of speak to what a person is looking for with their short game.
Well, looks-wise, it's clean.
I think
it's nice and clean, nice and classic. Has a little bit of a retro kind of nod to the old tri-sole that Cobra had with the old Trusty Rusty.
It's been like this for years.
It has. This is a little bit more of a sort of refined toe and heel section. It's not nearly as sort of squared off as that old Trusty Rusty was. No,
true enough.
But it still has that look. It's unique.
So you explained it to me a little bit off camera. It's mainly a turf interaction feature.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's designed to basically sort of remove the feel, so get the club sort of in and out the turf a little bit quicker, as you'd say.
Gotcha.
Stabilizers on the toe and the heel, so you've kind of got versatility as well. You can lay it in the heel, lay it in the toe. You can set it square, and you said it. When you laid it open,
it sits flat.
It sits nice and flat because of that,
which I think is a great feature.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I just noticed now. That CNC milling on the face that's in like a spiral, that looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it has all the really premium features. It has everything that you see in all the top wedges out there. Again, on this claim of being the softest wedges in the market, we're going to test them against your Mizunos.
Yeah, and
hard to argue that's going to be much, or that wouldn't be the softest. Mura, I'm sure, with their process would be very soft. But this in the mainstream market, head to head with a Mizuno, seems like the logical test.
And if they kind of keep up with a Mizuno in the field, then I would say, they've achieved something good. Yeah. Are we going to go to the extreme of saying that the softest in the industry? Probably not. But
we when we looked at it at first, we thought it reminded us actually of the Mizuno, the S18.
The head shape at address is that very rounded teardrop shape. Like S18 has. T20 doesn't have quite as much of a rounded shape. It's more squared off.
A little bit more squared off.
This really reminds me of if you did a blind test, you'd have a hard time telling them apart.
Yeah.
Maybe just the finish.
Okay.
They look good.
Well, we've made our way over to Dubai, as you do.
Yes.
So we're at the
all the
Emirates.
Travel we've been doing.
If we can't travel in person, we'll do it virtually.
Yes.
So we are at the Emirates at the Majlis course. We're missing the Dubai skyline, but that's okay.
It's back there somewhere.
And we're set you at 105 yards.
So full 56s, just nice kind of full swing performance. Then we'll hit partials with the 60.
Perfect.
I think that gives you an idea of how the things perform.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it will be interesting when we switch out.
Yeah.
They are soft, for sure.
Okay. Let's see on consistency on the strikes. So we've got a little variance going on. Launch is good and tight. Ball speed's pretty good. Yes, they're not going offline at all.
Kind of averaging 10.
You want to do the Mizuno test here with the full shots? Why don't we do that? I mean, I have to say, I'm not really picking up on too much acoustically that's different.
I mean, are they exactly the same? Maybe not, but they're pretty similar. They feel pretty similar.
It's tough. I mean, it is tough to pick up audible differences.
I prefer the feel of mine, but I think it's more to do with S400. Being the wedge shaft that I like versus the KBS. However, the KBS does make the whole thing feel kind of quite smooth overall.
I think it's a compliment to Cobra that it feels like a Mizuno.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that you can't go, oh no, it's terrible in comparison. Yeah. They're close-ish.
Okay.
I think most people would find they're close-ish. If you put them blank and you didn't know which one was which, it'd be hard to tell.
Okay.
Definitely hard to tell.
All right, let's hit some 60s.
Partials.
Oh, found it straight off the bat.
It's actually not a bad layup yardage for this hole because you can't really spin back a 60-yard shot.
Yeah. Any downsides? Any complaints?
I would want to know how it was through the turf.
Yeah.
But based on how this simulates the turf interaction pretty well, normally if something kind of pops up, I notice it. Yeah. They feel very clean going through the turf.
As we know is the case most of the time, the lefties, there are one option. That's probably the downside. So you've got a 52, a 56, and a 60. Take it or leave it. Yeah. However you hit them, you hit them. Yes. With the righties, there are other options. There's this sort of versatile grind. There's the wide low grind. Yeah. The classic. So, there are options. If you don't quite like one, you maybe try this one. You don't.
Not for me. So hopefully, I'm assuming if the wedges are successful, maybe they build up the lefty side. The fact that they're in lefty at all, I usually take as a bonus, but
I know
it's pretty limited. That is a fair. I'm sure there's a lot of lefties watching that will say I want a different loft and grind, but
yep.
And they work off the rack for me. So
yeah, you can't argue with anything that these are doing.
No, they're spinning plenty. They feel good. They're consistent. I think it's a great wedge for less money.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it would be good to add these to our outdoor test when we get outdoors.
Good. It's growing, right? We're gonna have tons of wedges to test outside.
Yeah, yeah. So our turf test for the wedges, these zip cores, that sort of stuff. Lots to test.
Yeah, new Vokies. Yeah. Need to get those outside too. So yeah, I would say if you're gonna go to a fit or you're gonna go demo wedges, if you saved yourself $40 a wedge or so. That may pay for a shaft upgrade you need. It may pay for a grip upgrade. It may be money you could put towards a hybrid that you want to buy. So they're worth testing. I'm not going to say that they're going to be better than Vokies and Callaways. They're not. I think the test is more to say, can they keep up with those at a good price? I would say it's feasible for sure. Yeah.
Definitely. It's not an inferior product.
It's not an inferior product. Will it fit you the best? Who knows? Yeah. But worth trying.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a really good way to look at it. And I think, the Cobra product, like you said exactly at the start, it's been like that for a while. A $500 driver.
Yes.
Versus a $700 driver. Well, if I can kind of get in the ballpark with the same thing, I'm probably going with the $500 one. You're talking about the exact same thing here.
Yes.
Premium components, a premium golf pride grip, a KBS wedge shaft, wedge specific shaft.
That's a great feature.
Yep. And obviously a club that feels, looks, performs great.
Yeah.
it's hard to knock it.
No, there's nothing negative I would say about it. Will you like something else better? Possibly.
Maybe.
But it's not a knock on this.
But at that point, you're into the nuances, aren't you? If you like something more than this, you're really starting to get into the detail, probably into fitting, into a characteristics or an aesthetic or something that's a little bit different about the configuration of the sole or something. But off the rack, it's as good as there is.
Yes. Perfect. Well said.
Okay, guys. Well, hopefully that's kind of been the video that a bunch of you have been waiting for. Matt said that he'd noticed it a ton of times, people asking for this one. So thanks to Cobra for sending those. We really appreciate it. Not a club that we stock in our bags currently, but after this test, to have different price points, we may have to rethink that.
Kind of seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it, to have in the shop?
Without a doubt.
Awesome.
Okay, guys, stay tuned for more. We'll see you again soon.